I'd now like to introduce my colleague Ewan Cameron. Ewan Cameron is the CTO of Developer Technology in Esri. And building upon how we build enterprise systems, he's going to walk through how you as developers and engineers can build applications.
Thank you very much, Craig. It's a pleasure to be here with you all this morning, and my job here is to kind of walk us through the various options that we've got as engineers to build our applications. It's all about building applications. David started this morning, and this is one of the first slides that he showed, and it shows that sort of ArcGIS, the concept that ArcGIS can empower your entire enterprise with a variety of experiences. These experiences can be consumed by users of a number of different persona types. They can also be experienced from other IT systems. And as you're working with this, as you're doing this work, it's really you as developers, GIS practitioners, DevOps engineers, etc., that make this work. And it takes a group of people to customize and to tailor a generic GIS system such as ArcGIS and make it work throughout your organization. And the type of people that I think of are builders. Builders are not a particular persona, they're more of a mindset that you bring to the problems that you're trying to solve. Builders don't wait on the finished solution to deploy it. Builders create the finished solution using their ability to be agile with technology and deploy that within their organizations. They're constantly looking at refactoring and iterating with the technology, talking to their users, making technology work within the enterprise. Builders can be developers, and often they are, but builders can also be GIS technologists, technical GIS practitioners using the low-code, no-code tools. They can be DevOps engineers. They can be solution architects. It's really anybody who's involved in creating these solutions within your enterprises. That's who I'm talking about when I refer to as builders. And these builders ultimately are building solutions that meet your users or their users where they work. And they do that by creating focused experiences. Now, ArcGIS comes with many applications ready to use as downloadable components or web apps that you can share within your organization. And there's a lot of options created by us at Esri for use within your enterprise. But we definitely can't create all the experiences, and that's where we need you to take our technology and to customize it and focus it onto the users. And perhaps the easiest way to start with doing this work is using our low-code, no-code builder tools. Dashboards are a fantastic way of dynamically being able to portray a lot of complex information, but in easy-to-digest forms. And we see these being used to monitor status of systems, to visualize trends within the data, or maybe to manage the performance of a system. And this brings us to some of the observability that Craig was talking about. You can use ArcGIS dashboards to build observability tools onto your IT system. The team that's responsible for dashboards, they've been thinking about dashboards within the context of the enterprise, and a lot of the enhancements that they've been working on recently has been all about that, making dashboards easier to portray information to more users within the enterprise, making dashboards easier to manage within the enterprise, and easier to deploy across multiple systems in the enterprise. And to show us some of these enhancements, I'd like to introduce Anusha.
Dashboards drive important decisions every day. But to make a dashboard that's clear, legible, and immediately understandable takes time and effort. Recent updates to ArcGIS dashboards let us make good dashboard design easier and more repeatable. Today, I'm going to showcase some of my favorite capabilities that ArcGIS dashboards offer recently. Here, there is a traffic safety dashboard built for Delhi's leadership team. Key collision matrix at the top, injury severity and day of week trends below, high risk intersections and key collision in the map. Now, all the data is here. The design looks nice, but at a glance, can you tell whether there is a serious safety issue this month? Let's refine so the answer is immediately clear. While opening the theme panel, we can see insufficient color contrast. So that tells us where legibility problem occurs. By adjusting the color, the readability improves instantly. Now, instead of going for individual elements, we can do this at the theme level by adjusting more, such as the font, family, the heading size, and so on. So, now let's establish a clearer information hierarchy. With this, we don't need to update individual element and the answer relies within. Now, enhancing our dashboard more here by introducing color to classify injury severity, we can use accents to make it immediately clear and to draw attention to what matters the most, that is, fatal and severe collisions. Now, at a glance, we can tell that there has been a fatality this month. And once we set the priority, it is more clear. A few final refinements help to remove any friction. Fatality details are surfaced, so there is no need to search. And masking the map prevents the empty space from being provided any friction. Now, individually, these changes are very small, but together they dramatically refine within time, and it takes everything to what understands. Now, our next question is, how does this compare over time? So that's where our recent enhancement to date selector comes in. With a single sliding control, we can move this back over for any month and compare over the evolution. No need of calendar selections, no need of reviewing every dashboard and making duplicates, so on. Now, this was for a particular region. What if we have to make this for another district? So what we will do is, we'll simply save it as a template, give our district's name, and we can save this dashboard, which I have already done. So this I have made for district B. Now, since we have saved it as a template, it is still showing the previous data. For that, we'll go to data source panel. This is again a new enhancement. And here we can simply swap the web map. So here I'll be selecting the web map for district B. Up next, we'll be selecting the layer and reconcile any field differences that we have. Once done, we can see the whole dashboard got changed as per the updated data. The design remains intact, interactivity maintained, and no need to update each element again. Now, the same workflow will help if just in case something goes wrong with your map. What if your web map got broken, the layer got sufficed underneath? So in the similar case, we'll go to data sources panel again. We can simply swap the web map. So here I'll be selecting traffic collision in district C. Once loaded, we can select the layer which will be participating in our dashboard, reconcile any field differences, and with the same manner, we can get our dashboard back within minutes. But this was it for the case of 1 or 2 districts. What if we have to create many? That's where the Python comes in. Using the dashboard manager with ArcGIS API for Python, we can do this with automation, Python automation. So here, what we will be doing is, we'll be simply keeping our portal here, given the template dashboard ID that we have just created, get the dashboard's dependencies, if any, and get the web maps for the new divisions. What it will do is, it will simply create the new dashboards for you. So what used to be time-taking is now very efficient and easy. So that's how we can create dashboards that are effective and takes less efforts. These updates are about making beautiful looking dashboards effectively without very much effort, easier to apply and scale. That's about it. Thank you. Back to Yuan.
Thank you very much, Anusha. Some really nice examples there on showing how you can use dashboards within your enterprise and then keep them up to date and maintained with some of these new tools. Next up is Instant Apps. There was quite a bit of time this morning spent on WebGIS and the importance of web maps and web scenes, because they really do encapsulate so much more than just the data in the layers within the map. As David said, they encapsulate the behavior associated with that map and so much more. And perhaps the easiest and quickest way to share a web map is not to share the map itself, but to put the map inside of an instant app and then share that, so you get a focused experience built around the web map or web scene. A number of new templates are available that the team's been working on, as well as enhancements to the existing templates. And increasingly, what we're seeing is organizations not just using one instant app, but using groups of instant apps to build out complete solutions. And to their users, they're getting that focused experience, but to the GIS technologist, they're able to build that without writing any source code themselves. They're just putting all their effort into authoring the map of the scene, and then configuring the instant app, and then sharing it out within the organization. To show you how you can use a set of templates to build out a complete solution, I'd like to pass it over to Palami.
Thank you, Yuan. Today I'm here to show how 3 sets of instant apps can work together as a complete workflow. Imagine a city that wants to improve their parks by adding new playground structure and park. The challenge isn't just collecting the ideas, but also listening to the community, managing the feedbacks, and then acting on it. Today, I will show how these 3 instant apps, Reporter, Manager, and Web Editor, can support this entire process. Let's start with the public-facing application. Community members can submit feedbacks and suggest location for new playgrounds directly on the map. Recently, we introduced a new capability called AI image extraction. This feature extracts the information from the image, and it will help users to auto-populate the information directly on the fields. I have already configured 2 fields, such as feedback category and feedback description. Let's see. In the window, you have to mention what you wanted to extract from the image, and you have to precisely mention it. Based on that, the tool will return it. Now, let's publish the application and see how the flow works. Now, let's start from submitting a new feedback. By selecting this new AI image extraction tool, you choose your file. For now, I am choosing the broken bench image. Let the tool analyze the image, and if your image is having location information, then the point will be added automatically on the map. But for now, I am adding the point on the map manually. As you can see, once the point is getting added on the map, you can see the feedback category and the feedback description has been generated automatically. Following this, I have mentioned the full name and the email as well. Now, we'll go ahead and submit the record. So once the data is submitted, it will be appearing on the map directly. Now, let's switch our perspectives from citizen to a staff member. The second instant app is the Manager template. Manager supports data editing, and in this application, we can see it's configured in split view mode, which shows the table and the map together. Now, city staff can easily filter the data based on the status. Now, instead of editing the data one by one, we can use edit multiple options to update all the records together. Let me select few multiple records by following the edit multiple option, and we can go from submitted to in progress, and we can update all the data all at once. Now let's move ahead and we'll talk about the web editor instant apps. Some edits will go beyond and requires more advanced capabilities. That's where this new web editor instant apps comes into the picture. Web editor is designed for precise edits and requires for redrawing the parks and adding new structures. Here we can see I have simplified the application by only enabling the create new features and reshape, which allow us to add new park boundaries and add boundaries to the existing ones. So now let's go ahead and see how this application works. After launching the app, you can see a clean and focused editing experience. Now, I'll show how we can add a new park structure to the existing one. Let's select the existing boundary, following with the reshape tool. We'll go with the append. And using this append tool, we can easily add new park boundaries to the existing one. So see how simple it is to add boundaries to the existing ones. From the beginning, I have shown how different type of instant apps can work together and complete the whole process, showing how simple it is to go from feedback to action instant apps without any custom development. Thank you. Back to you, Johan.
Thank you very much, Pulami. The final builder experience that we're going to look at before we break for lunch is Experience Builder. Now, Experience Builder is very easy to use to build out your web experiences, but it's also quite open-ended in what it allows you to do. It's about building more than just that single web page application. It's about building a complete web experience all by using reconfigurable components. It starts with a widget or a component that you can configure, and there's many choices that you have available to you. You can even start in express mode, which is a very quick and easy way to get up and running. But you configure these components on one or more pages, you combine them together, you link them together, and you really make your data come alive with these custom experiences. The team's been working on a number of new capabilities in the form of widgets, but they've also been rounding out the functionality within the application itself to support better accessibility support within the application. And one of the exciting new features that I'm particularly interested in is this access permission-based components. So you can configure certain pages, certain aspects of your application to come alive when certain user types sign in to your application. So you can build one application for many users within your organization, and depending on their role that they have, certain parts of the application light up. To show us this in action, I'd like to pass it over now to Ashita.
Thank you, Jan. Good afternoon, everyone. Public safety requires transparency for the residents and secure collaboration for the internal teams as well. This demo, Community Safety Smart Portal, is being categorized into two sections. In the first section, we will be talking about the configuration of the new widgets and some extending capabilities. In the second section, we will be talking about the customization of the widgets and its extending capabilities. Here on, we are seeing Community Safety Smart Portal homepage, which is accessible for the user and anonymous user as well. I'm using new login widget capability here, which provides user to have good sign-in experience and also access row-specific content. As we can see, apart from the home page, we are having two other pages, report and the monitor, and we also see some restricted visibility. The capability that we are talking about here is page restriction visibility. So for that, let's check what kind of restrictions we are having. So for the reporter page, I can see that who can view the selected pages, the roles has been specified to the administrator and the data editor. Along with that, for the monitor, we can see the roles has been specified only to the administrator. So this is how these two pages have been restricted. Now we will be moving on to the next capability, and we will be seeing some arcade expressions. Here on the monitor page, we have some cases count over time, some case priorities, and some case list. We can see there are two types of cases here, one open and other closed. And both are being differentiated with the different colors of background. The cases which are open can be seen with purple color, whereas the cases which are closed can be seen with the blue color. This can be achieved through Arcade Expressions dynamic formatting, which is being powered by Arcade. So now, let us try and use Arcade AI Assistant and create such expressions so that we could get some desired results. For that, I will be moving on from live view to the edit view, and we will be making some expressions. You can select your desired attribute here. For me, I am selecting the case ID attribute. For that, I will select this Arcade Editor, and I will be getting this Arcade Editor box. And we have multiple functions here. So for that, we are having here is Arcade Assistant. Just give me a second so that you could see clearly. We will click on Proceed, and then we are providing the prompt here. So I already have the prompt beforehand with me. So I wanted to showcase the case ID which are having injuries more than 5 in the red color. So I have provided the prompt, and I will click on Generate. Meanwhile it's getting generated, let me tell you the advantages of using Arcade Assistant. A, it can be helpful in real-time customization. B, you could visualize your content in different various perspectives. And C, as we can all see, it's very time feasible and you could generate multiple expressions very nicely. Here we go, we are having some expression for us. This option here is add to the editor. It will directly add this expression on our arcade editor box, and we will click on run. We got something here. We got a value which is explaining us the case ID. Let's see whether we have got the desired result or not. I'll click on insert, and then let me just, okay. Now we'll click on live view. Yes, so we see we are having colors here where on the case ID where we were generating the red color for the cases which are having injuries more than 5. But we also see that the other cases went black, but white, sorry, and we were not writing those expressions there. So that's what, like, you have to be very vigilant with the arcade editor. You have to check the code, what we are getting the desired result or not. So these things happen. Now, once the mapping and the visualization is done, my first section is completed. Now I will be moving on to the second section, which is the customization of the new widget and then its extending capabilities. But before that, let me just show you the live experience of this application. Here is Community Safety Smart Portal, which is accessible by the user, an anonymous user, and the public user as well. So we have provided some map here. Along with that, we have provided some near me tool through which you can perform the analysis. And also we are showcasing the information like what happened nearby. For example, whether there were any vehicle related thefts or whether there was any DUI enforcement. Now the second page, the 2 pages that we were talking about in which we were providing the page restricted visibility. One was the report and the monitor page. Let's see what we get. So this is a reporting page that was only accessible to the administrator and the data editor. For example, we are using data editor as a traffic police officer. So if the traffic police officer logs into his username, he will get this desired information where he will be getting the case list. Along with that, he would be getting layers, some report. He could report any kind of incident that has happened throughout the city. Along with that, he could edit any feature. For example, if he wants to update any kind of information, and some etc. tools are there given for, like draw and measure. Let's move on to the monitor page. What we have for the monitor page. As I mentioned earlier, it was only restricted to the administrator. So despite of traffic police officer getting only the information regarding the traffic police, he can get, the administrator can get any information regarding any kind of incident that has happened. So that is how page visibility restriction works. Now we will be moving on to the second section. Here we go. As I've already explained the user experience, now we will be making it more customized, and for that we will be using editing some custom widget here. I've already pre-installed the ArcGIS Developers Edition and partially built a custom widget, which we will be seeing here and making some changes. As we can see, if I click on the insert widget, the custom widget, which is advanced report, can be seen at the below panel. And I will add it to my application and let's see what happens. Here we go. I'll save it and then I'll publish it and I'll be viewing it in the live view. It'll take a time or so. Yes. So we can see we are having a custom widget here which does not have any kind of added functionalities. We are just having a button called generate report and some report title. So if we click on this generate report button, let's see what kind of report gets generated for us. So this kind of report will be generated. This is a report. We are getting some map, we are getting some chart, and we are getting some quick facts information. But as a user, I want to have a more handed experience. So I want to add a base map, basically. I want to switch between 2 base maps. For that, I will be using map components, which comes with ArcGIS mapping, map SDKs for JavaScript. Just give me a second. And for that, I will be generating the code from the documentation here I have. So you can extract this code from the documentation, and for this I will be using ArcGIS base map toggle slot this code, and I will be referencing it onto my custom widget. I already have that copy pasted, and here we go, and I'll save it. Now let's just refresh the experience and see what we are getting. Yeah, we have something. At least it worked. Now if I change on the base map, I can see the base map has been changed and I can switch between them. But what I wanted to add more is, I wanted to generate an AI summary to it and see how our reports get generated. So basically, if I click on generate report, it will give me the desired result like the previous one, but only with that such explanation. But I wanted to generate a new AI summary to it. For that, I will be calling my AI Azure endpoint from my AI module, and I'll be referencing it to my code. Just give me a second. Here we go. So now what I'm trying to do here is, I wanted to summarize this map point data and get some information and return a summary in the text format with having information such as largest reported loss and some average counts per cases. So if I go back and I refresh this experience, and if I click on generate report, I will be able to get this kind of report, which explains us with the title, which have some AI information to it, with the map, with the features itself, and also we can get some chart and some quick facts regarding that. So in the past few minutes, I've talked about multiple capabilities here that could be possible if we are combining configuration and customization all together to get the desired results. Thank you. Over to you, Yuan.
Thank you very much, Ashita. So that was a great demonstration that not only showed you how easy it was to create a focused application, but also how you can extend it with your own custom widgets. And as developers, that's often what we do. We create a series of custom widgets that are specific to the workflows that my organization is interested in. I put these custom widgets in the hands of non-developers, and they can create their own applications using Experience Builder. So that concludes our morning session. We've got a lot more this afternoon. We're going to continue on the journey of developing applications using APIs and SDKs, and then we'll transition into GeoAI and analysis. So please be back in your seats at 2:30 for the afternoon session to start. Thank you.